I'm getting a little over the amount of new agey people that come on my page and tell me that, whenever I share, it's always when I share colonizer, Zionist stuff, right? When I'm really unpacking the evil that suppresses, oppresses, and genocides. There are some people out there who genuinely think that that's low vibe, that's I'm not building the new earth because I'm talking about the fallen reality. They know, they can identify that that's a broken reality, but they are unable to speak about it because in their minds they have been deceived, because the new age is a psyop. It's a deception. Not that there's not good things in it. Nothing is all good or all bad. So there's obviously good stuff in it. But I'm saying there is a deep deception in it and an undercurrent of light and love, dissociated language, disconnected from the body, which is exactly what any fundamentalist religion will do to you. It's funny because these new ages, they want nothing to do with Abrahamic religion, as I don't either. But Abrahamic religion has demonized the feminine, the body, the earth, this thing, this. The reality of the muck and the earth and your root, this. So Abrahamic religions live only in the top half of the self, the father. They don't have mother. They live in the concept of God, mind. It's all rules and mind and concept. It's up here. And the new age light and love is also up here. It's this concept of what spirituality should look like. It needs to just be sweet and cushy and no bad stuff, and you co-creating the wrong reality. You're in a deep state of illusion because you are also disconnected from the mother. You think you're not an Abrahamic religion, but you are, based on this very fundamental behavior, which is the annihilation of the root. The actual root in your system, your body, your center of power, the womb, the root. Here. It all comes from there. It comes in from the earth, into the root, and into the rest of the self. Now, if you're not connected to reality and your root and your power, the root is also connected to the throat. So your power is your voice. So you're telling me not to speak. My speaking makes you uncomfortable because of the rawness of the reality and the truth. So you're telling me not to speak because we got to stay up here in light and love. Don't create the wrong reality. No, that's not how reality functions. The Hermetic principle, the law of mentalism, that's not how it works. This has been going on for more than hundreds of years, thousands of years. But this colonizing Zionist regime has been operating for a long time. And a lot of these new age people that are under deception are in the West. So they have no concept of real life. And they think that if they pretend and don't speak about this, like it's not happening, they think that that means that they will not co-create the fallen reality. But they don't understand that that dissociation is what perpetuates the fallen reality. That when you don't look, when we look, even in meditative practice, right, in Zen meditation, this is what I learned from Father Amasami, my teacher, the most unassuming man. He is Emmanuel to me. So innocent, so beautiful. And in this practice, I learned that when I sit and I am in awareness, and when I notice my body, if I notice something in myself, if I bring my awareness into my body, I'm feeling I notice, there's a little tension there. I didn't notice before because I hadn't brought my awareness into presence and witnessing. And as soon as I notice, the tension actually dissolves. So it's through my noticing and my awareness that the reality will relax and go back into flow, into stasis. When I'm in dissociation, not looking, maybe too busy with something and my body's getting tight somewhere, then obviously the body remains tight. So the act of not looking is not that you not co-create in the falling reality. It means you are co-creating the fallen reality. That's basic. Awareness. You turn your eye and you look into the dark in yourself and in the external. You look at it. And you sit with that. You process that on your own. You don't tell me I'm not supposed to be saying it because it makes you uncomfortable. No, it's because you're in light and love construct. You need to come into the root and feel all those root things, which is what? How dare this earth and the body and people be treated in such a manner? You need to feel that. You need to grieve that. That's yours. That's not mine. And until you feel that and grieve that and look at it and are able to witness a message about it, or are able to speak about it or do something about it in your own unique way, you are actually co-creating the fallen reality. Creation takes attention. Truth, the word, feeling, it needs to move through the root. So we all know that you don't get over a shadow aspect of life or some pattern in life or trauma in life unless you do the recovery work of turning your face to look at it, feeling it, finding a tool or the modality or the person to help you move it, being wiped out by the feeling because so much has come through the body. You have experiences, you cry, you allow, you witness that. You let the body restore, the spirit restore after the integration. Then you are co-creating from a higher plane because you've resolved that trauma. So that's just how that's actually how psychology works. And that's how the actual external reality works, your own and our collective reality. You actually need to admit that it's happening. You need to look at it. And you need to bring yourself out of dissociation. That's a trauma response, and it's understandable. It's a lot to handle. I get it. But that's what we came here for. You came here to come into your body, move out of dissociation, and actually experience the discomfort of whatever realization you have to have about this world or your life. Usually both, hand in hand. And face it, that's grit. That is true spirituality, as taught by the rishis and masters of many lineages. I haven't met a New Age master, have you? So face it. Face this. When you integrate your womb and you find your root and you take your root power back, that's you growing a pear or growing a delicious vag. That's how you grow it. Okay. I'm just going to give you little smiles now. Look at how pink the light is. It's sunset time. Beautiful, hey? I love this place. You see, I'm here. When I feel the call and my spirit says speak about that, I speak about it. But I'm building the new earth too. I'm in peace. And I stay in peace because I speak about it, because I acknowledge things and I respond to what I'm being called to, even if it's uncomfortable. That keeps me in peace. So we got to straddle both places. We've got to straddle and acknowledge the old world, and only through our acknowledging and speaking and sharing and coming into solidarity and finding new systems will that old world actually cross over into the new world. It's not in ignoring this. If we ignore this, we stay here. It's in the acknowledgement that we're moving across into the new world, like a dance. Maybe I should do some more dance again. Tandava. I love that feeling when I get on the flow and you're just moving. You know, when you're just moving with her, she as her, not even thinking, just allowing. I find a lot of healing in movement. Sometimes it's planned, but most of the time it's not. I'll just like be on my way to the kitchen, I'll put on an album, and then my body will just be like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling this, let's move a bit, you know. It's a great way to move root energy, because we're in the root right now, as you know, well, maybe you don't know, but the people who have followed for a while the Kundalini Chrism Astrology, the theory that the Sophia, the great wisdom, revealed to me through my own gnosis was what chakra energy points we go into throughout the year. And I noticed after every solstice we come back into the root, and then we move back up to the crown. Just as we reach the next solstice, then we drop into the root. And it's amazing that in my groups, my fellowship, Sophia Circle, a lot of women are in the root in so many different ways at the moment, like questions over power, personal power, safety, old intrusions on the body, trauma happens here, a boundary break, an abuse, an intrusion, the intruder, that has to be resolved here. So often we outside of that space because we've gone through some kind of trauma in life, or we're still in a trauma, like a continued trauma. Trauma doesn't have to be a once-off thing, like, oh, I nearly had a car accident and now my body's gone into the nervous system response, and then it will relax. Sometimes, most of the time, trauma is like accumulated over years because you couldn't leave a dysfunctional family situation, and it's deeply embedded. And having any kind of relationship in life where your power has been taken away, maybe it was a big physical sexual intrusion, and maybe it was like accumulated intrusion of being shamed, manipulated, controlled in subtle ways, all those subtle patterns of power in life. Are you a giver? Do you give a lot? Giving out the root, that's where it comes from. When you're the giver, codependent behavior, giver. The taker is also losing energy from the root, and the taker is like narcissistic behavior, although codependent behavior is also narcissistic behavior. They're the same thing. So yeah, I mean, the giver and the taker, whatever, and usually people are a mix of those pathologies, right, or those behaviors. And giving or taking energetically, spiritually, intellectually, space with other people in relationships, that's a power play. Give, take. And that disruption or imbalance of power is in the root. So yeah, like most people, we've grown up in a very imbalanced society, dysfunctional family, lots of imbalance. So we have a lot of root issues where in some way we're giving away our power by giving or taking. So it's a deep place to heal, and it's the dark goddess, it's the dark mother aspect of the self, meaning all the stuff I just spoke about, facing the shadow, being brave, going and having the feelings, the real root, raw, authentic, visceral, lived, feminine part of life. Feel it. Emotions are gorgeous. And actually, there is no power with emotions. That's the energy in motion. So this whole religion must all be in the mind and just obey the rules and we'll just read scripture and we'll just think a lot of things. You got no power there, because the power comes from emotion, which is energy in motion. And that means the difficult emotions. That doesn't mean because having grief feels bad, that's a bad emotion. No, that's misunderstanding. The grief is actually the power. The alchemization of the grief is the power. You need the energy, the emotion, to give you the power to manifest the new self. So you have to move through the root to actually heal fully. It's very surface, superficial healing if you haven't done it at the deep root, womb, source of power, dark, feminine level. Shadow, proper, transpersonal, deep, internal psychology work. Recovery. Enlightenment is recovery. It's not sitting on a hill and dissociating. It's not crystals. It's recovery.